So let's get started. We're going to start at one end of your mat. We are taking the feet so that they are parallel and hip distance apart. And I just want you to soften through the knees a little bit here. So remember, when you soften your knees, it allows your pelvis to come into its most neutral position and takes that pressure off your lower back. So we want to think about the hip bones and pubic bone being flat at the front of your body. And then I want you to find height. So reach up and put your crown on the ceiling. Give the shoulders a gentle little roll down and back. And we take a moment here to connect with our Pilates body. So taking a nice deep breath into the nose and open through the mouth, we let it out. Good, your inhale breath, we expand into the side of the back of your ribs. And your exhale breath coming from the back of the throat, cueing your body to connect at your T-zone. So inhale breath, we find length. And exhale breath, we find strength in the center. Beginning to move now through the arms. So reaching your arms up and overhead with your next inhale breath. Feel your shoulder blades gently glide down the back. And as you exhale, press out and feel your crown reach up towards the sky. Good, inhale breath. Reach arms up and overhead, keeping the shoulders away from the ears. And as you exhale, using that as a reminder for your body to connect at your center. Well done. Last one here. We're reaching the arms up and overhead, just feeling the shoulder blades drawing down the back, that connection of your ribs gently sliding to your hips. And we reach the right hand down towards the thigh and lift up and over. Good. So a little lateral stretch happening here. We lift the body up, pass through the center and grow tall. And up and over we go to the other side, reaching. Nice job. Lift up through the center. Take that inhale breath. And as you exhale, reach up and over. So we're starting to tap into our obliques here. You're using your opposite side body to lift your spine back up through neutral. And we start to feel that beautiful stretch down the side body and into the lower back. One more in each direction here as we reach up and over. And exhale, up we come. Good, one more, up and over. Good, growing lovely and tall. And just settle in again. So let the shoulders draw down and back. Unlock through the knees if you like to lock out through that space. And take a nice deep breath in. Arms are reaching up. As you exhale, I want you to dive forward from the hips. So we're hinging forward, folding in half, and just allowing this upper body to release a little bit. So let your head go, let your arms be nice and floppy. And then we inhale and bend through the knees. And exhale, extend through the legs. Good. Inhale, we bend. Exhale, extend. Well done. Keep going. We'll do a few more here. Just starting to feel that length and stretch coming into your hamstrings. And you can begin to feel how your hamstrings and your lower back are connected. So when we get that release through the hamstrings, taking pressure off your lower back and opening up that space. Good. Lengthen the legs this time now and hold here, still allowing your shoulders and your neck to be nice and long. And shift your weight forward now into your toes and then back into your heels. And forward into your toes and back into your heels. So you can still do this with a little bend in your knees, and you should be still feeling that you're lengthening through your hamstrings. As you shift your weight forward, I want you to lift your tailbone upwards towards the sky and increase that stretch that you're feeling through the back of the legs. Good. So finding now stillness through the body and even weight underneath your tri-points of your feet. So the ball of the big toe, the ball of the little toe, and the center of the heel. And then we're bending the knees as much as you need to place your hands flat on your mat and look towards the end of your mat. So we're keeping your pelvis nice and still, your T-zone connection is active. Walk the hands out so that your hands come underneath your shoulders, and we're going to come into a strong plank position here. So finding that alignment through the body, I want you to feel that there's that length out through the heels, and you're lifting your kneecaps up, gently drawing your pubic bone towards your belly button and broadening through your collarbones. Well done. Okay, so spreading your fingers nice and wide, still being able to maintain your Pilates breath in this position. So we're inhaling into the side and the back of your ribs. And as you exhale, press the earth away and feel that space between your shoulder blades connect and lift and activate. Well done. All right, taking an inhale breath here. Let's start to move into a pike. So exhale, lift the hips up high, and we're trying to earth through the heels. So you might want to step your feet a little bit closer towards your hands in this position to find that beautiful pike. Good, breathing in, we're coming forward, looking down between the hands, your shoulders are over your wrists, and as you exhale, pike your hips high up towards the sky and earth through the heels. Good, so starting to get a little bit of movement here, coordinating your movement and your breath. Inhale, come forward. Exhale, lift up. Good, keep moving for me. So we're starting to warm up through the body, coordinating movement and breath, and feeling that movement is initiated from your center in both directions. Let's go 2 more, coming forward. And exhale, piking the hips up high. Good, 1 more here, coming forward. And we're going to finish with the hips high in your pike position. So allowing the heels to draw back down towards the mat, keeping your fingers spread nice and wide. I want you to press down into your index finger and your thumb and really press the earth away. Good, open up your collarbones and feel the back of your arms wrapped back. So we're very strong and supported through that upper body. All right, bend one knee, allow the other heel to draw towards the earth and switch. So we're walking it out, we're prancing. Good, switching. And you're trying to keep your pelvis very still as you transition from side to side. Good, so while we're here stretching out through the calves and the hamstrings, building strength through the upper body, I want you to feel that you're still drawing your lowest abdominals in and just finding that the more you connect through your front body, the more release and length you get through your back body. Let's go 1 more each side. Well done, all right. So softening through the knees now, and we're going to allow the knees to come down onto the mat and just bring your hands underneath your shoulders. So we want to set up in this 4-point kneeling position, just for a little cat-cow stretch. So breathing in, as you exhale, we tuck the tailbone round the spine and look back towards your belly button. Good, now send your sit bones back, lengthen vertebrae by vertebrae, drop the shoulders and eyes look up. Good, 2 more, tucking and rounding, moving from your center, your core, your T-zone. Eyes look back towards your belly. Send the sit bones back, lengthen, drop shoulders and eyes look up. Good, 1 more here, we tuck and round. And we're just going to hold in this cat stretch position and enjoy that stretch for a moment longer. So keep pressing the earth away. You're letting your head hang heavy and you're drawing your belly button and your sternum back up through towards the spine, pressing the earth away, breathing into the sign in the back of your ribs, bringing the feet together and just settle back into your little child's pose position. Reach out and recover here for a moment. All right, so breathing in, and as you exhale, we tuck and round. So you're slowly allowing your spine to rebuild all the way back up to sitting, rolling the shoulders down the back and letting your head be the very last thing that lifts. All right, so we should be feeling pretty warm. I know that I am. Let's bring the legs out here in front of you and just coming down the mat a little bit, because we want to be able to come into a little C shape or roll back, and then eventually all the way down, lying onto your mat. So make sure that you have plenty of space behind you. So we want to keep the feet and the knees so that they're hip distance apart, and holding on to the back of the legs. You're sitting up lovely and tall, so you can feel you're right on top of your sit bones, your ribs are on top of your hips, shoulders over your ribs, and that your head is gently pressing back, your crown is reaching tall. Good, take a breath in here, and as you exhale, I just want you to roll into C shape. Good, so C curve, rounding back. And then inhale, we're coming up and growing nice and tall. Good, exhale, we're rolling, so C curve or imprinted spine. And then inhale, growing nice and tall. Well done, so keep going, trying not to rely too much on the back of the legs for support. I want you to tap into those lowest abdominal muscles and feel that you're moving your spine from that space. Good, even as you grow tall, you're not allowing that connection to switch off. 2 more here, imprinting and drawing all the way back up to neutral. Last one here, we roll into that C-shaped spine and then continue to partially roll back. So you're going to go to a point where you can maintain that nice C shape through your spine, breathing in, and as you exhale, scoop out your belly, come up and grow tall all the way on top of your sit bones. Good, so rolling first, C curve, and then rounding back, drawing your pubic bone to your belly button. Breathe in here, and then as you exhale, scoop out through the belly, come up and grow lovely and tall.
All right, so you can continue with this. If you want a little bit more action, reach your arms forward. We anchor the arms back into the shoulders and work from there, unsupported. So we roll back and draw your pubic bone towards your belly button, creating a big capital C shape with your spine. Inhale here and exhale, scoop out your belly, come up and grow tall. We find more length in your spine. So you're coming all the way up to your neutral here. Roll back, draw your pubic bone towards your belly button. Good, we're keeping the eyes looking just above the knees here, and then scoop out your belly, come up, and we grow lovely and tall. Well done. All right, let's go 2 more. Sinking, tucking, and rolling your pelvis as you come back, vertebrae by vertebrae, feeling that you're closing through your ribs, you're keeping your belly button drawing back towards your spine, and then we scoop it out, come up, and grow nice and tall. All right, last one here. So remember the option to keep a hold of the back of your legs is always available. And then we roll back, vertebrae by vertebrae, we're coming down onto the mat. So nice and controlled, keeping your neck and shoulders relaxed. And then we are now lying on the mat. So this is where we may need a little bit of support for the head and the neck. So if you're anything like me and quite kyphotic through your upper body posture, meaning that your shoulders tend to roll forward, once we come into this position of lying on the mat and the collarbones are open and the shoulders open up, then that usually causes our ribs to pop up and we overextend through the spine. So to avoid that, or try to help us to keep the ribs down, a little bit of support under your neck, under your head, is going to help your neck to stay supported. Okay, so if you've got that there available to you, I want you to try and use it. If you're trying to decide if you need it or not, if you're looking back up like this and your neck is really lengthened, I want you to pop something underneath so we can bring that back to its neutral position. All right, we're going to work a little bit of T-zone activation here. So I want you to feel for your neutral spine. So remembering it's hip bones and pubic bone level on the top of your body, and you're feeling your little natural curves of your spine, okay? So everybody's a little bit different there. If it helps you, just place the hands onto the pelvis, and we start to work with the breath here. So you're starting in neutral, take a breath in, and as you exhale, you're tilting the pelvis into imprint. And then we're coming back to neutral. So keep moving, it's a very subtle little movement, and it's coming from your lowest abdominals, okay? So you're thinking about underneath the belly button at the front is pulling in to roll your spine to imprint, and then we control and bring the pelvis back to neutral. So there's no aggression here. You don't feel like you're forcing your lower back into the mat. We feel it's a nice subtle little movement using your abdominals to move your spine. All right, let's go for 2 more here. Your bottom cheeks are staying nice and soft. We're not engaging through that space. And you're just reminding your body of the order of your T-zone connection. So starting at your pelvic floor, we gently lift that to 25%. Zip up from your pubic bone to your belly button and inwards from each hip bone to the center. So when you settle back to your neutral next, I want you to hold there, just filtering that awareness a little bit higher up to your ribs and gently close these last 2 ribs together. All right, second variation here. I want you to imagine that you have a little glowing red ball sitting between your hip bones. So as you breathe out, you're going to roll that ball to your right hip bone, and then you're going to roll that ball back to center. And then you're rolling the ball to your left hip bone, and then you're rolling the ball back to center. So keep going. You can see, even with my movement, this is not a very big movement. There's no movement happening here at my knees. My shoulders and neck are nice and soft and relaxed. And the direction that I'm sending the ball, I'm going to think about that T-zone connection, drawing in a little bit deeper. So you can start to feel the difference from one side of your body to the other. So I want you just to feel, we'll go 4 more here. Roll the ball in one direction and feel that side drawing in tight. Roll the ball back to center. Roll it over to the other side and back to center. Good. We'll do 1 more in each direction, feeling any difference on one side of your body to the other, which can be totally normal and just gives us that awareness of what is happening on each side of our body. So settling back into your neutral pelvis now, the final variation of this little pelvic movement is going to be bringing one hip bone to the same rib. So let's start on the right side here. Right hip, we're going to draw it up towards the right rib, and then use the left side body to level the pelvis off. So the left hip now comes to the left rib, and we're going to use the right side body to level the pelvis up. So these little movements through the side body, tapping into your internal obliques and helping you to release your lower back muscles, okay? So these 3 little exercises alone, really great to help you realign your pelvis. And you can see it's tiny little movement, and we really have to tap into that mind-body connection. So exhale as we draw the hip towards the rib, and inhale, we lengthen away. Good, let's go. And lengthen away. We're here for 1 more in each direction, just feeling that length coming into your lower back, strength coming into your center. Last one. And we're coming back to center here, ready to work some abs. So we're really tapped into our transverse abs. Start now to incorporate some of your rectus abs, your 6-pack abs. So interlacing your fingers, I want you to bring them back behind your head and draw the thumbs down the back of your neck. So your head and your neck are going to be very supported here in your hands. And remember, if you brought your arms up and your ribs have popped up here, very important to keep those last 2 ribs gently knitting together at the front of your body. So here we go with a little ab curl. We take a breath in to prepare. And as you exhale, curl forward, sliding your ribs to your hips to lift your head and shoulders. And then we are lowering back down with control. So curling up and lowering back down, excuse me. All right, exhale, curl up and lower with the same control. So you can see here, my pelvis has not moved. It's still in its neutral position. I'm just flexing my spine forward. So it's not an ab curl that you might be used to doing at the gym. This is your Pilates ab curl. All right, so if you're happy here, I want you to stay in this position. If you want a little bit more, we're going to float the legs one at a time to tabletop position. So one leg will come up, knee over your hip, slide your ribs to your hips, and we float the other leg up to tabletop, and we're squeezing those legs together. Good. We inhale, lower the upper body. Exhale, we curl it up. Good. Inhale, we lower. Exhale, curl. All right, so you should be feeling your abs now. I know that I'm feeling my abs. And holding the legs at tabletop, I want you to feel abs are supporting your legs, okay? So what will take over if your abs are feeling tired are your hip flexors, your lower back, or even your neck and your shoulders, okay? So if any of those things are coming to our little Pilates party, I want you to bring your feet back down onto the mat. All right, here we go. We're here for last 3. Little ab curl, same control as you lower back down. You're curling up and looking just above your knee line and lowering back down. All right, on this next one, we are curling forward and holding here. Good, so reaching the hands now down beside your hips. We set up for hundreds, breathing in to prepare. And as you exhale, pump your arms up and down. So we breathe in, 2, 3, 4, 5, X, 2, 3, 4, 5, in, out. Keep going. So we're pumping the arms from underneath the armpits. You're looking just above your knees and you're feeling your belly button drawing back towards your spine. Well done. Can you feel your heels? I want you to really glue your heels together, even if it means your knees come apart a little bit. Okay, keep feeling your inner thighs draw towards the midline of your body. All right, we are here for 3 more breaths, reaching forward with each breath out. Good. Each inhale breath, we find more length in the spine. Stay with me. We're nearly there. We're here for 1 more breath. Taking it in, out. Good. Catch a hold of your head. And we are lowering 1 foot at a time back down onto the mat. And you can rest. Well done. All right. Not quite done with abs. You know how much I love abs. Wouldn't be Pilates if we didn't keep going with a little bit more abs here. Okay, so finding that you're resetting your neutral spine, so your pelvis is in neutral, your ribs are gently closed, your collarbones are broad, and you feel length coming into the back of your neck. Your T-zone connection is active. We are floating 1 leg to tabletop, sliding the ribs to the hips, and floating the other leg to tabletop. So this time we're going to keep the knees and the feet so that they're hip distance apart. If it helps you for your own awareness, I want you just to rest your hand on your belly button and feel that you continue to pull your abdominals away from that space. All right, we are working some single leg toe taps. So breathing out as the leg falls away from the body, and inhale, we float it back up. So exhale, we tap.
Inhale, we float. So you could feel with your single leg toe taps that the floor might be a little bit too far away, okay? I want you to go more off what you are feeling through your body. So if you take your leg all the way to the floor with your tap and that your ribs are popping up and that your neck is pulling and you're all uptight, then your range of movement is too far, okay? We are just taking the leg as far as you need to feel your abdominals are working hard, and we don't want to put any pressure into the lower back. So if that is happening, you're bringing your feet down and you're having a rest. Okay, so can we work a little dynamically here without losing control of what's happening at the pelvis? We add a little bit of tap and flow and keep using that exhale breath to pull these abs in nice and tight. All right, we are here for 6, 5, 4, 3, last 2, and last 1. And I want you to hug your knees in towards the body and just gently rock from side to side. So we're going to release any tension that may have come into your lower back. And then ready for a little oblique work here. So bringing your feet back down onto the mat. And I'm going to give you the option here to keep your feet down or to come into tabletop position, okay? So we're interlacing the fingers back behind your head and your thumbs are drawing down the back of your neck. Reset your rib posture, so pulling your ribs together, drawing your abdominals in. We are floating one leg at a time to tabletop if you're coming there, otherwise keeping the feet down. So breathe in, and as you exhale, I want you to curl forward and hold it there. So inhale prepares you. As you exhale, you're going to curl to your right. So we take the left rib across the right hip, and then we come back to center. And then we come to the other side, and we come back to center. So keep going with this little crisscross. Actually, sorry, it's just an oblique curl at the moment. We might get to crisscross in a minute. So first option, you can stay here. If you want to add a little bit more action, we're extending the leg that we're turning away from. So we come into crisscross. All right, we're trying to keep the elbows out of what we're doing here and work at taking your rib across to your opposite hip. Good, so we're working right up onto the tips of your shoulder blades and reach. Good, and try not to take your leg too low. We just want to reach straight out from your knee. Reach and point and rotate through your rib cage. We're here for 4. Good, 3, can you squeeze your belly button back towards your spine? 1 more each side. Reach. And last one here. Good, coming back to center, hug the knees in, and we're lowering the feet one at a time back down onto the mat. Well done. All right, so while we're here, let's do a little bridging. So if you have put something underneath your head, I need you to get rid of that when we're bridging. So just pop that to the side. And we want to bring the feet so that they are hip distance apart and they are parallel. And that we're just going to rest the hands down beside the body here, relaxing through the shoulders. Take a breath in to prepare. And as you exhale, I want you to gently roll into imprinted spine and peel up, vertebrae by vertebrae, into a bridge. Good, we're pausing here at the top of our bridge, and then exhale, lowering vertebrae by vertebrae. We are coming back down through your imprinted spine, and then the tailbone will be the last thing to connect back down with your mat. So rolling into imprint, articulate your spine and pick it up, 1 vertebrae at a time off your mat. Okay, at the top of your bridge, when we take this breath in, and then lower and focus on the length as you bring your spine back down, vertebrae by vertebrae, through imprint, and the tailbone is the very last thing to connect. Nice job. All right, rolling up, draw your pubic bone towards your belly button and peel it up. So when you're at the top of your bridge this time, I want you to check in. Make sure you haven't gone past your neutral spine, okay? So if you're up here and your ribs are popped, you're going to be feeling a lot of pressure happening through your lower back. Doesn't feel very nice. So knit your last 2 ribs together. Your ribs should be sinking down a little bit and lift more from your pubic bone. Now lower, sternum, ribs, belly, imprint, and let your tailbone be the very last thing to connect with the mat. Okay, when we come up to the top of this bridge this time, I want you to hold there. So rounding up, taking your time, come up and hold. Check in with your alignment now. So your weight in your bridge needs to be in your feet, okay? It's not up here in your shoulders and your neck. And then imagine you've got your Pilates ball between your knees. So your inner thighs are pulling towards the midline of your body. Your kneecaps, you're going to reach them long. All right, and then lift your pelvis a little higher towards the sky. Close the ribs and feel length now through the back of your neck. So just holding here, you should be feeling you're building strength through your hamstrings, your glutes, your lower back extensors and your abs, okay? And we feel strength, we don't feel strain. So lower your hips now 10% and lift them up. Inhale, lower. Exhale, lift. Good. Now to get more glute activation, think of rotating your pelvis. Pubic bone to belly button as you lift. Inhale, lower. Exhale, lift. Good. Working with your breath. Can you still reach through your kneecaps? Good. We have 5. Good. 4. Are you feeling your glutes? Yes. 3. Hug your inner thighs towards the midline. 2. And last one, I want you to lift up and hold it here. All right. We are lifting your heels up off the mat. So try not to move your feet now in towards your body. Okay. We want to keep them where they are. Then you're going to lower your tailbone and tap it on the mat. And then exhale, lift up. Good. Inhale, we lower and tap the tailbone on the mat. Exhale, lift it up. So keep going. All of those alignment principles still in play. So you're hugging your knees in to meet each other and your inner thighs are active. Good. As you lift up, gently draw your pubic bone towards your belly button. Are you feeling this right at the crease of your bottom cheeks? I know that I am. All right, we're here for last 2. So we're working our full range of movement, letting the tailbone tap the mat. And lift and hold. And we're adding those little lowers and lift this time. So little lower of your pelvis, 10%. And lift. Little lower, little lift. Now if you've let your ribs go, I want you to check in with that space again and close them down. We're here for last 4, 3, and lift. 2, draw your pubic bone towards your belly button. 1 more, lift and hold. And lower your heels and lift your toes. Here we go, last round. Lower and tap your tailbone on the mat. And lift your hips up high. Good, tapping and lifting. Well done, keep going. So we feel hamstrings are on fire right about now. Good, keeping your T-zone active. You can feel your pelvic floor is gently lifted. And you are zipping up and buttoning up your tight pair of skinny jeans. We're here for last 3, last 2, and lift. And 1 more, we lift the pelvis high and hold here. You've got your little lower, little lift. Inhale, lower, little lift. Inhaling, exhaling. Oh, we're feeling that burn right about now. We got 3. We got 2, ribs close and together. Last one, lift and hold. Place the feet back down and control. We're coming out gracefully. Lower, chest, ribs, belly, imprints, and your tailbone will be the very last thing to connect back down with your mat. And we rest. Okay, so coming up for a little spine and hamstring stretch. So we'll come out of that with a little flow. So let's just find that neutral. We'll keep the knees and feet bent. Sorry, the knees bent and your feet flat on your mat. And just reach your arms over your head. Good, so wherever you take your arms to, I want you to still be able to feel you can connect your ribs together. Close them down so you're not letting your spine arch and lift here, okay? So we want to keep this connected. Arms are reaching overhead. Breathe in, and as you exhale, we are curling forward, sliding ribs to hips. Grab a hold of the back of your legs and come all the way up to sitting. Grow tall. All right, breathe in, exhale, roll back. Pubic bone draws towards the belly button and lower your spine back down. Vertebrae by vertebrae, arms release and they reach overhead. Good, exhale, reach the arms up. Draw the abs in, reach for the back of the legs for a little support here and come all the way up to sitting and grow nice and tall. So first option is to continue there. If you want a little bit more, we'll work on a full roll up by lengthening the legs long, sitting up nice and tall with your arms reaching out in front of your chest. Breathing in, as you exhale,
roll back, imprint the spine. And vertebrae by vertebrae, we lower down with control, using your abdominals to lower your spine. Arms reach up and over, ribs stay closed, and lift up. Exhale, curl. Good. Use that scoop through the belly to lift. I want you to come through your neutral spine and then dive forward for a little spine stretch here, flexing through the feet. Lift and lengthen the spine, drop your shoulders, and then roll back. Pubic bone draws towards the belly button as we lower with control, vertebrae by vertebrae, back down onto the mat. Arms are reaching overhead. Good, arms reach up. Use your exhale breath. Draw those lowest abdominals in for control. I want you to lift through your neutral and then dive forward for that little spine stretch, and we add the flexion of the feet. And then draw your belly in, lift up, grow tall. And vertebrae by vertebrae, we're lowering back down. So we'll do one more to come all the way back up to sitting. Remembering the option there with your knees bent to help support your body up to sitting. So arms are reaching up, breathe in. Exhale, scoot your belly and come all the way up. Oopsies. Okay, lift up and over and dive forward. And then lift the spine and grow lovely and tall. So setting or sitting up nice and tall, I just want you to take your feet now so that they're the width of your shoulders, nearly the width of your mat even, and flex your feet. And we're sitting up really tall out of this lumbar spine. So if you're particularly tight through your hamstrings, you can bend your knees to get this upright position, or you can pop something underneath your bottom, okay? So just your towel that you've rolled up to get a little bit more height and length. All right, so arms are reaching forward here for our spine stretch. Lift the ribs up, and as you exhale, I want you to dive over an imaginary beach ball, reach the fingers forward, and then let your crown release towards the tops of the knees. Good, the shoulders are soft. Draw your abs in and slowly come and rebuild your spine. Shoulders, neck, and crown lifts last. Good, inhale here. And as you exhale, lift the ribs and dive forward. We're allowing the neck to release, so you're looking back towards your belly button, and you keep drawing your belly button and your sternum through towards your spine. Good, now draw the abs in, slowly come and rebuild. Drop the shoulders and lift your crown. Let's do one more because they feel so yummy. So lift the ribs and dive forward. Good, reaching with the fingertips. Allow the crown to be heavy towards the mat and draw that front body through to the back body. Good, pull your abs in and slowly come and rebuild your spine. Vertebrae on vertebrae all the way back up to sitting, and lower the arms, and we have a little rest. So moving into a little side lying series. So I want you to lie on one side, and we need to set the body up so that your neck is going to be nice and protected. So you can either fold your arm here and rest your head. If you do have a little block, you can pop that underneath there just for a little bit of support. Try and avoid being right up here onto your elbow. It's not the best alignment long term for your neck. You'll start to feel a little bit strain in that space. So setting up here with your knees bent, and we want hips, knees and feet all stacked, okay, one on top of the other. We're going to use this top hand here for a little bit of support and awareness. So you're using this hand to pull that top hip bone away from your ribs and feeling this little lift of your bottom waistline, okay? So my hips are stacked, one on top of the other, T-zone is active, and we are here set up and ready for clam. So you're going to squeeze your heels together, and as you breathe out, open that top knee, and inhale, we're going to close it back down. So a little open, and a little lower. So keep going. I just want you to be really mindful of the range of movement that you're working with your clams. So just feeling that wherever you take your knee open to, that you haven't moved your hips, okay? So we don't want to feel like the hip is opening up so you can open your knee really wide, and you want to feel that you haven't sunk that bottom waistline down into your mat. So keep going with your clams here, holding onto that top hip bone, squeezing the heels together to open, and inhale, we lower and close. So what you should be feeling, you should be feeling it by now, is this little muscle in the side of your glute med muscle. I want you to just squeeze into that, press into it, wake it up, get it to come to this Pilates party. And feel that if you are feeling any pain coming down the side of your leg, you might need to sit this one out so we can get the glutes working properly, okay? So if you're tight in your hip flexors or your ITB, and they're working and not your glute, you're going to need to stop and give them a little bit of a stretch here, okay, so that they can switch off and the glute can switch on. So let's keep going for last 4, opening and closing. You're going to try and look straight ahead rather than down at what you're doing, so we're keeping the neck nicely aligned all the time. Let's go last 2. Feel the heels squeeze together, that little glute switching on. Last one, I want you to open that top knee and hold. So drawing the lowest abs in, we're going to add some little pulses of your knee up towards the sky. So your thigh bone is moving up, up, up. We're here for the last 3, last 2, and last 1. And then we lower the knee and have a little rest, ready for our next variation. So reset if you've sunk into your bottom waistline. Draw that hip bone away and feel everything stacked one on top of the other. So you're going to try and keep this lifted feeling through your bottom waistline, and your T-zone is active. All right, from here we are lifting the top leg. So your knee and your foot will lift and lower. We'll lift and lower. Good. So exhale, we lift, inhale, we lower. And if you're keeping your alignment nice, then your knee will come straight back over that bottom knee, okay? If you're moving around, your knees are going to start to stagger. We want to try and keep the pelvis very still as you lift and you lower. And we're only bringing this leg up to hip height and lowering back down. We'll go for last 3. Woo, yeah, we're getting a little booty burn happening now. Last 2. And last one here, I want you to lift that leg and hold. So we're at hip height and your foot is the same height as your knee. You're not down here, lift it up. All right, little knee stir where you're circling your thigh bone in your hip socket. So your pelvis is staying very still, it's juicy, and we're here for last 2. And last one, and reverse your circle. So tiny little knee stir. Good, you can make it as small as you need to keep your pelvis nice and still. For last 2. And last one, and we lower that leg back down. Woo, and have a little rest. All right, ready for all that action on the other side. So rolling over. Setup is the same. Make sure that you have your neck supported, your head rested, and we want the knees bent, feet back in line with the body, hips, knees, and feet stacked. So using this top hand for a little support to draw this hip bone away from your ribs and feel that gentle lift up of your bottom waistline. T-zone connection is active. We squeeze the heels together and open that top knee and close it back down. Good. Exhale, we open, and inhale, close it back down. So allowing that knee only to open as far as you can keep your pelvis nice and still, and we're using this top hand here for a little bit of awareness of what's happening in that space. So opening and closing, and if it's not already working, I want you to just tap into the side of your glute there, give it that little tactile feedback to say, come on, you've got to switch on, you need to work. All right, we are here for last 4, open, and resist the knee as it closes back down, and that squeezing of your heels together, helping to maintain that connection at your glute. Last 2, opening, and we resist close. And last one here, let's open that top knee up, draw your ribs gently closed and together, and add your little pulses up with your knee drawing open towards the sky. We are here for 4, 3, last 2, and last one, and lower that knee back down and have a little rest. So setting up for our second variation here. And reset, so if you've allowed that bottom waistline to fall or collapse, I want you to gently draw that hip bone away from your ribs, re-engage through your center, and lift now the whole top leg up to hip height, and then we lower back down. So it's exhale as we lift, inhale we lower. So your foot and your knee are moving together to lift that leg, still feeling into the side of the glute. We lift and we lower. Good, and feel if you're lifting too high, you're going to allow that hip to pull up towards a rib. We want to try and avoid that range of movement. And you're lifting from your bottom and lower. Good, let's go for last 3. Flexed foot, last 2. And last one, we lift this leg up to hip height and hold there. And start your little knee circles. So you're drawing a circle with your thigh bone in your hip socket. Your pelvis staying completely still as we circle for 2. And last one, and then reverse that circle, reaching,
Well done. Can you find more length in your spine? So we're still staying engaged to center while we're working our glutes. The last two. And last one. And then gently lower that leg back down. Ooh la la. And we have a little rest right here. Well done. Okay, so let's have a little stretch out of these glutes. I'm just going to spin back the other way here. You can just roll on over to your back. And we want to step. So we step the right foot onto the left thigh. Flex that foot, and you're going to reach through to the back of your leg or your shin and draw that leg in towards the body, and then gently lower your head back down onto the mat. So we want to try and aim to get a glute happening here into this right glute, a stretch happening here into this right glute. So each time you breathe in, I want you to gently draw the leg that you're holding onto towards your body, and then you allow this knee to draw away from your body, and then you try and anchor your tailbone back down into the carriage as if you're trying to get back to your neutral spine. So we just find that that really increases the stretch here. I want you to still stay connected to your breath while you're stretching, and just relax your shoulders and your neck. Good, we take a nice deep breath in here, and then slowly unwinding. And we come to the other side. So stepping now your left foot onto your right thigh. Allow that knee to open out to the side. Curl forward and take a hold of the back of your right leg. And then slowly we lower the head back down onto the mat. So each time you inhale, we gently draw this leg that you're holding onto towards the body. Your other knee away from your body, flexed foot. And lastly, we try and connect the tailbone back down with your mat, just so you can feel that nice stretch happening into the side of your left glute this time. You can really feel if one side of your body is different to the other. And you can hold that stretch for 2 more breaths, using that exhale breath to release tension through the body. Good, last breath here, take it in. And exhale, we slowly unwind. Alright, so I would like you now to just roll on over to your belly. We're going to finish with a little bit of spinal extension, probably because we're spending a lot of time, on the computer, looking at phones, so it's always nice to extend the spine and do opposite to what we default doing at the moment. So rolling on over to your belly, just stack your hands one on top of the other. We're also going to take the feet so that they're the width of your mat and just slightly turn them out a little bit. Press your pubic bone down into the mat, and that's going to set your neutral spine here. And you're going to have your head, your forehead, glued to the top of your hands, okay? So I'm just going to stay lifted while I'm chatting to you. So your head stays glued to your hands, and your arms and your head are going to lift as you extend your spine, okay? So pressing the pubic bone down into the mat, gently lift your T-zone and activate your abs. Breathe in here, we float the upper body up, so you're lifting your arms with your head, and then we lower the spine back down. So inhale, we float the spine up into extension, and then exhale, we lowering back down. So remember, with extension, it's never about how high you lift, always about how long you lift, okay? And we're trying to lift and lengthen and extend that thoracic spine. So thinking of the space between your ribs as you float and lower. Good, inhale, float on up. Exhale, we lower back down. We are here for last 3. I want you to feel like you're reaching your crown forward to initiate that lift. And exhale to lower. Feeling the pubic bone anchored into the mat. Float on up and hold here. So we still have a lot of length of your shoulders away from your ears. You're reaching your arms forward overhead, and you're still lengthening your shoulders away from your ears. You're looking straight down at your mat, and we just start to swim with the arms. So lifting and lowering, alternating arms. Your chest stays lifted, and you keep reaching your crown forward. We're here for last 5, 4, 3, 2, and last one, and lower and have a little rest. All right, let's add some legs in here. So just actually bend at the elbows and rest your head again. Press your pubic bone down into the mat, and just allow the legs to float on up off your mat. So if you're lifting too high, you would feel that in your lower back. Put the legs back down, re-engage, and reach the toes along behind you to float the legs up. Good, so from here, let's just start to kick with the legs. So kicking, and that kick is coming from your glutes. So from your pelvis up,
Your body is completely still and we're reaching the toes back. You can feel underneath you that your hip bones are nice and level and heavy into your mat. So we're here for last 5, 4, 3, last 2, and last 1, and then we lower and have a little rest. So do you think we can combine those two things, upper and lower body? So when we do this, we need to keep between the hips and the shoulders nice and still, and we're just working at swimming through the limbs, okay? So reset. Make sure you're looking straight down at your mat so we keep this nice length through the back of your neck. Draw your arms back into your shoulders, press your pubic bone down, and gently lift your belly button up off the mat. Good, we're breathing in, and we're going to float the arms and the legs up, and then exhale, lower them back down. Good, inhale, float, and exhale, lower. Good, we'll do 2 more like this. So your spine is in a little extension, you're looking straight down at the mat in front of you, and last one here, we'll float the arms and legs up and hold there. Start to swim, so we're kicking through the arms and the legs, you're reaching your wrists forward and your ankles back in those 2 opposing points, creating beautiful length through your body. Good, keeping from your pelvis to your shoulders very still. We're here for last 5, 4, 3, 2, and last 1, and then we lower and have a little rest. Just bring your hands underneath the shoulders, tuck the toes, and press back into your little child's pose for a rest. So we'll hold here for 3 breaths, inhaling into the side and the back of your rib cage, and exhale, just melt the chest towards the mat and feel that your sit bones are drawing heavy back towards your heels. Last breath here, fill it into the side and the back of your ribs, and find that heaviness. So I want you to actively press your palms into the mat, engage your core, and slowly tuck your tailbone under and round your spine. And as you're rebuilding your spine back up to sitting, press your palms firmly down into the mat. Get that beautiful little bit of traction as you rebuild your spine. Roll the shoulders, and the head is going to be the very last thing to lift. Let's come up to standing so we can finish with a beautiful roll down. And you're ready for whatever today will bring. So coming up to standing, I want you to take your feet so that they are hip distance apart, they are parallel, and you're soft again through your knees. Go give your shoulders a gentle little roll down and back, and feel the more height you can find in your spine, the more depth in connection you get to your center. So we're breathing here into the side and the back of the ribs, and as you exhale, nod your chin towards your chest and peel your spine vertebrae by vertebrae towards the floor into your roll down position. And we're just allowing the weight of the head to guide you down towards the floor. Once you find that space that you can hold, lift your tailbone up, draw your lowest abs in, and use that connection to slowly rebuild vertebrae on vertebrae back up to standing. So we feel the shoulder blades glide down the back, the neck rebuild, and the crown is the very last thing to lift. Let's do 1 more. Breath into the side and the back of your ribs, and as you exhale, nod your chin towards your chest and peel your spine vertebrae by vertebrae towards the floor. Here we're letting the arms be very heavy, the heaviness of the crown of your head guiding you towards the floor, and being mindful you haven't shifted your weight back into your heels. Good, finding that even weight underneath your tri-points, draw your lowest abdominals in, lift the tailbone up, and then tuck it under and round your spine, vertebrae by vertebrae, back up to standing. Good, you're going to allow the crown to be the very last thing to lift. So shoulders cascade down the back, neck, crown is the last thing to lift, and you're all done. Well done. Thank you so much for joining me, and stay tuned. We will be offering a lot more home videos very, very soon. Have a beautiful day.